Hi, this is Karen, and I want to show you around our state stats feature. So it's available here from the panel. You go ahead and click on that, and you get the United States in hexagon form. So let's pick a state. Start California here. And what we will show you is the session dates. So the start and projected end session date, and if there's a crossover deadline. And once that is the projected finish date, once it finishes, you'll get a little flag over here that says ended, and it'll be the actual date. And then we'll show you the breakdown of the Assembly or House and then the Senate. And then we'll show you where bills are at in the whole process. And so this is for the current session only, just showing you, how many bills are where. And then how many bills are introduced by Democrats only, Republicans only, and bills that are bipartisan, and bills versus resolutions, which can vary state by state. And then we give you a quick look at year by year how many bills are introduced each session. So in single year sessions states, then there'll be, a few more data points. And then for the biennial states, you get just a dot every 2 years. But here we see that, for example, in 2021, California had 4,400 some bills and 1,700 some passed, and then resolutions and passed resolutions down here. Breakdown of the chamber over time, give you some context there. And then this is an interesting chart. These two together are interesting. So this shows the percentage of bills that were passed by colors, by party. So again, looking at 2021, we had 1,355 bills that were introduced by Democrats were passed, which is 63% of the bills that year that were passed. 30% of the bills, 657, that were passed in 2021 were bipartisan, and only 7% of the bills that were passed were introduced by Republicans only. That's 143 bills. So that just kind of lets you know how the breakdown looks. And then here is kind of a flipped over way of looking at it. So again, in 2021, we see that bills that were introduced by Republicans only, 18% of them passed. So it had like an 18% chance to pass. Bills that were introduced by Democrats only had a 43% chance to pass. And bills that were bipartisan had a 71% chance to pass. And we see that a lot of bipartisan bills passed, even though not that many bills were bipartisan. So if you see that a bill is introduced by either Republicans only, Democrats only, or are bipartisan, that gives you some idea of if it is probably going to pass. All right, and then we have this graphic here showing you how many bills are in each different category, and this is based purely on what committee the bills were referred to. So if the bill was referred to any of the education committees, then we consider it to be an education bill. If it is referred to any of the justice committees, then we consider it to be a justice bill. If it gets referred to education and justice, then we count it both times. So this sum won't be exactly how many bills were introduced. Plus, if it never got referred to a committee, then we don't categorize it. So, but this gives you an idea of what is getting worked on. And then this is a similar what percentage of them passed. So we can see, looking at 2021, which had been our favorite, that the bills that passed the least were education at 40%, and the most were justice at 55%. But you can see that that hasn't always been the case. So back here, housing and urban affairs in 2013 passed at the highest rate, and education passed still at the lowest rate. So you can see that these are controversial bills, whereas a housing and urban affairs bill that is bipartisan, has clearly a really good chance to pass. So this can also help you decide, like, of the bill you're looking at, what kind of thing is going on, and also lets you look at trends. I actually find this really interesting. Then down here, we have a bunch of links you might be interested in. So we've got the links right to the legislature website, to their own description of their legislative process, a link to their budget, which can be helpful. And that's on the NASBO site. So that is a nice breakdown. I think you'll find this useful. And then Ballotpedia's description of the state, which is also pretty useful. And then links to that you might want for the House or the Assembly and for the Senate. And then we have some rulemaking links. So again, the link to where their code is, their description of their own rulemaking process, if we could find one, public engagement guidelines if we could find them, and then the link to their register, which is going to be their proposed regs. So you can check out all that. And then, of course, we've got the Find Your Legislator link on all of these so that you can look up who your representative is. So that is what this page is. Hopefully you find it useful just to get a feel for the culture in this state. And if you have a bill that you're wondering if it's going to pass, hopefully between all of these pieces of information, you'll be able to kind of make up your own mind if you think that the bill is got a chance. All right, good luck.